Yosemite National Park as a group, a rather large group, to work with the National Park System on helping them develop a system-wide policy to allow for the use of Segway by people with disabilities to access our national parks. And so this has all been about a fact-finding mission, but more importantly, an educational mission with the National Park Service, because so many people form judgments about the Segway based upon myths and lack of knowledge. And so there's no better way to solve a problem than to really turn the real lights upon it and educate people about what the realities are about it. I broke my neck in a diving accident 8 years ago, and the epiphany that all of us must understand is that we're just a heartbeat away from being a quadriplegic. We're just a heartbeat away from a spinal cord injury or some other injury which will cause you permanent disability. That's a common denominator for all of us. I mean, it's a club that we all have the ability to join in just a heartbeat. But with the introduction of the Segway into my life, I found that because I had the ability to stand, even though I walked very poorly and could not walk very long, even though standing required an enormous amount of physical energy, the personal dignity that I found by standing was worth all of that. And so the Segway allowed me to become stronger. It allowed me to stand taller. Over time, it's made me a healthier individual. So the Segway physiologically has been a real beneficial tool to me, even though it's not a medical device. It's just universal designed technology that allows me to have a better physical life, but it also allows me to interact with the rest of the world in a more typical manner, which is standing looking at you eye to eye.
I got hurt in a climbing accident 24 years ago, broke my lower back in a 100-foot fall, and developed adaptive equipment to allow a paraplegic to do rope ascending. And my partner and I, Mike Corbett, were the first team that had a paraplegic in the team to climb El Capitan. And behind me here is Half Dome. And Half Dome, we were the 20th ascent of the Tisiak route, first put up by Royal Robbins. And in 20 years, we were the 20th ascent. And it was a really difficult climb. It was A4. I don't want to get too technical about climbing, but on the scale, A4 is at the top. And A5 is actually the highest, but A4 is right there. And it's pretty amazing how a disabled wheelchair user can get up into this area in this device. What I like about it too is that, you know, it doesn't just say disability. You know, you come up to someone and it's kind of it's an eye-catching device, and you know, I don't have a wheelchair symbol on this, and I don't know if people think I'm in a wheelchair or not. It's hard to say.
I last visited here about 4 years ago, and I was in a wheelchair, and there were so many areas that were outside my physical abilities to access. And delightfully, over the last 2 days, I visited every one of those areas on a Segway. The Segway truly, for my purpose, transformed what was inaccessible to me to accessible. I'm one of the founders of Disability Rights Advocates for Technology. It's more commonly known as DRAFT. Lenny, Tim, and I founded this organization about 4 years ago, seeking to promote universal design, and in particular, universally designed technology solutions that would benefit people with disabilities. We've worked very hard to try to make certain that when people made a choice, when they chose to use and benefit from a universally designed technology solution, that they'd also be able to have access, to be treated equally when they use that device. As an organization, when we decided to choose to honor and choose to provide something, we immediately were drawn to our veterans. And particularly with the present conflict and war that's going on, a very difficult war where people are returning and living who have been wounded, and a much higher percentage of life but serious disability. And so we chose to honor our veterans because they've given so much to us. And so we started our Segs for Vets program, which was to be able to give to any person who had, through their service to our country, incurred a disability and difficulty walking. If they wanted a Segway, we'd find a way to get them one.